Coaches, what's going on? It's Coach Ian Tatum here, back with another video. Know it's been a minute, but hey, we're back at the grind of doing these videos. I put a poll out a couple weeks ago about what videos y'all wanted to see, and the most popular was how to run duo versus popular fronts. So today, we're kind of going to go through several different fronts that are, I would deem, the most popular that you might see. We're going to do an even 4-2 over front and even front, over front and under front. And then we're going to go through odd, reduced on both sides. And then we're going to go through stack and then do bare front. So follow along. It's going to be a pretty good video. I think a lot of people are really interested in duo. Before we get into the video, though, make sure you hit like, comment if you run duo. If you want to get into running duo, I'm definitely down to talk. It was definitely our best run this year, and our running back had 1,600 yards. So if this is something you really like, make sure you hit the thumbs up and then comment as well. But then make sure you subscribe. We are just over 1,500 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. So I really appreciate everybody doing that for me. Last little announcement before we get talking ball. I did announce that we are doing the 3rd annual Tatum Offensive Line Coaches Clinic. That'll be available in January. Getting into the full clinic season. I'll be doing that mid to late January. Don't have an exact date, but it will be on a Saturday. So without further ado, let's get into talking about duo. All right, coaches, so right here, I just got a even 4-2 box, right? And it's one high. It's every coach's favorite, defense to draw up, and I know that. So it is what it is. We're really going to talk about the box and how we teach duo, because I'm gonna throw it back to one of my most popular videos on running duo, and we're gonna crawl through it. Then we'll kind of run through it once we get to the other fronts. But essentially, duo is a downhill run play, physical run play that hits in the A gap, but can bounce based off of linebacker reads. Duo commands 2 double teams in the inside, and I think it is a. I'm not going to get into the difference between that and inside zone. I have a video on that. Please check that out. But it is 2 vice tackle and guard, center and guard double teams that step both the same way and knock defenders off the ball and work towards linebackers. So rules for duo. There is no place on backside for this. You are blocking your backside gap. That is the gap you are responsible for at the end of the day. And I make sure to tell my guys that because when teams start stunting and twisting or moving fronts, you can't, no one ever blocks static looks. So make sure you teach them, hey, at the end of the day, you have this gap, and that's when you're blocking. So if you're going to run duo to the right, you have your left side gap, right? So this tackle would have his B gap, guard would have his A gap, and et cetera, et cetera. But we always tell our guys, hey, choose better than one. So let's call our double teams and let's roll. So even front is really easy, right? Especially over front. So backside on playside tackle, he has this backside gap with the 3 technique in it, blocking down. Guard, there's no one in your backside gap, so you're allowed to come off on double. And we're going to double this, call this a deuce right here. It's a playside double team between the guard and the tackle. They're working vertical, getting 4 eyes on the linebacker. And we call a deuce to 52, right? And we know which linebacker we're working to. 4 hands on the down lineman, 4 eyes on linebacker, working this guy vertical. We'll get into the running back reading a little bit, but he is reading the mic or the play side linebacker. If it's 2, if it's 3, then he's going to read depending on the week or who's more aggressive, we'll read whoever's over the center or the first linebacker in the box. We'll get to that when we get to more odd front stuff. But they're working to knock this guy off the ball. Backside here, the center is going to block his backside gap. Guard has known his backside gap immediately. I know the wheel is lined up there, but he's not down on the line of scrimmage. So he will look to double team, call this a scoop. This is backside guard and the play side in the center. And they're going to work for the wheel. Again, 4 eyes on linebackers, 4 hands on the D lineman. And let's move him off the ball. The backside tackle, gain ground. Don't let him cross your face. Keep this guy out base block, right? H-back has the hardest block in football, I think. He is coming off tight. Here we go. He's coming off tight off the tackle, and he's blocking the C gap, right? Whoever shows up in the C gap, that's your guy. these guys start twitting and stunting. Be patient, pick your foot up, put it down, start working tight off the tackle, and kick whoever's in the C gap and widen this hole. All right. So running back, you are sliding and diving, right? You are open step crossover, sliding to the quarterback, and you're working straight down the A gap. Okay, your eyes are on this Mike linebacker, and I've taught this before, but Mike goes down in the A gap. Cool, the guard, because he has eyes on the linebacker. The guard will come off the double team and block through the A gap because that's his gap, right? And he'll block it down. You then, as a running back, will jump cut to the next gap. Tackle is washing down the 3 technique because as soon as he feels that his buddy is coming off, he's going to get his other hand on the double team and he's going to block it thick and run his feet and try to get this guy moved out of there. At that point, if defenses are gap sound, that means they have an A gap, B gap, and then they have a C gap defender with this defensive end. We kick him, then the running back will cut it right here and try to beat the safety. All right, let's go the other way. Let's say that the Mike fits. He sees him running down A gap, and let's say for some reason he goes B gap. Cool. Let's say that the tackle goes A gap. Well, same thing. Guard, you're responsible for your A gap. We just talked about that. He blocks him down. The tackle then will come off on the linebacker that goes B gap, and the same thing happens. Okay, he jumps to the B. The B is clogged by the Mike. Then he will get to C and go. And then I'm not going to draw it up, but if the end spiked inside, then he would cut off the H's block and will be outside on the perimeter off the jump cuts. All right, so that is duo to a T, very simple. Some coaches have talked to me before and said it can't be that simple. Like play that simple just cannot work. Trust me, it works. That's exactly what I teach my guys, and we ran for a darn lot of yards. Again, our running back had 1,600 yards, and a majority of those were on this play. I don't have the numbers, but I would say at least 800 to 1,000 were off of duo. That's being generous. Again, some people are like, oh, what about a seventh defender? Very simple, RPO him. You can tag based off of the week, whatever you want this guy right here to run. He could run a slant, a glance, right off of this linebacker right here. Quarterback's opening that way, so he's going to open. He's going to put the ball in the running back's belly. If that seventh defender triggers, pull it, throw it. If you think that running more maybe like an out concept, like an out and fade is better, cool. If he's more flat-footed, you can get however you want to, right? If he's flat-footed, hand the ball. But if he's more get width, run the ball. If he comes down hard, throw the out, same thing, right? If then they start to play with you, we keeping the corner down, throw the go ball. All those things that you get creative as an offensive play caller with these RPOs. I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm teaching you how to run duo. This is a 4-2 over front, over minute, 3 techniques to the H. Next, we're going to do just under front where they put the 3 technique away from the H. Okay, so coming back here with under front, we have a shade nose to the H side. I'm really big on you can't just flip a play, right? You got to be able to block it versus what we see. And so you got to be able to teach it how you find it. So what I tell our guys is if on the play side we have a shade, you need to be able to still run the play. So same thing applies. You still have your backside gap. So tackle, you have your backside gap, so you're blocking through the B gap. Play side guard, you're going to block down the nose. Tackle, what I teach them and my coaching point, and I try to keep my coaching points to a word or two. On this, I would say check the hip. And they know exactly what check the hip means. It means that this tackle who doesn't have a guy in his gap, backside gap, is going to check the hip of the guard. Guard is he is road great in this nose. He is firing off. He knows he has help to the inside, so he is taking off and teeing off on this nose. Tackle is going to what I call sift, which means step through a gap. You don't have necessarily a responsibility when you're working for a linebacker. You want to sift through the gap, check his buddy's hip. If the nose stunts B gap, we're doubling that thing like traditional duo, like he's a 3 technique. If he stays A and the guard keeps him in the A, then he's going to go ahead and heel climb to the middle linebacker. Okay, just like that. Same thing backside. Center, you're going to sift through the A gap. Guard, you're going to keep the 3 technique in the B gap. Step inside, keep him in the B gap. Keep him on the backside of the play. Center's going to check his hip, make sure he doesn't cross his face. If he does, double it. If he doesn't, now you're climbing to the linebacker. And then backside tackle, you're just base block, right? Same thing we just taught. H, same thing. You're going to come straight off of the tackle's hip, right? And kick out the end, okay? Same thing, same read for the running back. Nothing changes. Do the A. You're reading. Now, what I would tell the running back is you're really going to have to read this linebacker. Play side is going to the right. Right side linebacker is the read. He is B-gap defender. If he sees his tackle release to him, he's probably going to try to blow it up. And then your jump cut will be right there out the back door. And read this H's block as well. All right. Next, we're going to go hop into the odd world and talk about just working an odd front with a reduced on both sides. All right, so we're going to talk about a reduced linebacker and odd front on either side of the H. For right here, we got overhang strong. We can make a call for this with the offensive line so we're all on the same page. We're still backside gap, right? So we're head up to backside. So this tackle has a head up 4. It could be a 4-eye, whatever it is. We're still going to call it deuce, right? We know that we have our gaps. So if this end goes B gap, we're going straight double team it, right? So we're still working doubles there to there, okay? So we're assuming if they're going to bring a rusher off the edge, that he's the C, he's the B, so then the mic would be the A, and then his nose would be backside A, right? We're just hoping the teams are gap sound. This is the way we teach it, right? If we see that, hey, they're doing some funky stuff, like he comes down, he goes B, mic goes opposite A, and nose goes play side A, then we'll change it up and we'll change who we're doubling to and how those things work. But for right now, this is how we're going to establish it. So still working a deuce right here. The guard is going to, I would tell him to pick his foot up, put it down. I wouldn't say attack the 4-eye or 4 right now. Pick it up, put it down. We're going to see what he's going to do. If he goes straight, slants B gap, double it like he's a 3 technique. If he plays through the tackle, great. Work this double team. Tackle is going to get on fit, start driving his feet. Guard is going to try to put a shot in there, trying to widen this guy, and then he'll climb to the mic linebacker. Center and guard, they're doing the same thing, still a scoop. Only thing I would tell the center is when you have a head-up nose, you have more freedom to step play side and then step down the nose. Why? Because you're working with the guard. So if he goes spikes A gap, you have help, right? Put your foot in the ground, get back. So working here, still working to that wheel, right? So working on double teams. And then the backside tackle, you've got to step inside and cut this guy off. Okay, the H is still working. J block, kicking the C gap defender. So we still have all our gaps backside, and then we're working play side gap for the H on the C gap. Okay, on this, same thing, working A gap. If the nose gets pushed backside, you're still reading the mic. Still going to read the mic regardless, but you're still trying to fit it in right here in this A gap. And the mic triggers, then you're going to jump cut all the way out. Okay, so that right there, that's how we would block it against odd front when we have a strong side, meaning the H side reduced overhang linebacker. Now we're going to do when you have a reduce on the backside, and we'll talk about a call we'll make to make sure we're good on the backside and the play side. All right, so now formationally, we are putting 3-by-1. So we're assuming in odd defense that they're going to push the overhang, bring this safety over, and they're going to play 3-over-2. And they're going to bring their other linebacker reduced down and play safety more over the top. Okay, if you're a defensive guy and you're watching this, you're like, bull crap, that's not how we play defense. Cool. Start at your channel and talk about defense. Anyway, so this is how we would do this. So now the H looks out and he sees that, hey, we got an overhang over here. We have an overhang condensed down. So we need to make a call because we're going to block it a little bit differently than we traditionally would. So this tackle needs to make a call. He's going to make a push call. means that he has an immediate threat off his backside and he needs help. Okay, so what we would do is we're going to push backside with the guard and the tackle. Really, this is the double team, but for sake of argument, we're just fanning it out. But if he doesn't come, then they're going to double team this 4 technique. That would mean that now, because it's a better angle, we're going to work play side guard in the center on an ace, working to the backside linebacker. Okay, then tackle still blocking your B gap. If this 4 stunts B gap, block him down, wash him down. H is still blocking his C gap. Okay, it's more of a loop here. We would even put him in a wing better, or stack, or either be in the B gap, stack him, or in a wing. Okay, and they will work this double team to the mic. Okay, so remember our rules. Tackle, you have the backside gap, which is the B. H, you have your play side gap, you have the C gap, correct? So if the N goes C, the H will widen him out, and then the mic will have a B gap at that point, and the tackle takes B. Okay, so we're working just a Tate right here, as we call it. It's an H or a tight end and a tackle double team, working these two for these two. Sort it out. He goes B, cool. Tackle, wash him down. H goes through the C gap. No one's off the edge. He goes to the mic, and vice versa, right? He goes out. H takes him. Tackle climbs to the mic. And we're still good, okay? So we'll talk about bear here now in a second, but that right there is the reduce from the backside. All right, so now here's this bear look, okay? And we keep our same rules, okay? Nothing changes except for one thing, okay? When you get to bear, you're going to live in a solo world. Okay. So duo, you'd be like, oh, you said 2 double teams. Okay. Football is fluid. Football, we keep rolling, right? So everybody's got their backside gap. Tackle, backside in. Okay. Guard, backside 3 technique. Center, step, play side. You still have to cut off the center. Okay. And then we're going to work a double team between the play side guard and the play side tackle, working for the mic, and we still kick out the H. That's how we would run duo. And for this, we'll teach the running back, hey, you're still running a gap, reading the mic, okay? But we also would end up, hey, we can read the backside linebackers. If he comes over top, right, he sees this, he comes over top, say he goes A, he comes over top, we will cut it back, okay, in the A gap. And we'll also RPO because he's the 7th guy. Okay, we'll RPO him as well. Run some type of a slant backside, right, inside release. Run a slant, RPO, the wheel. That's you as a play call. You can talk about your RPOs if you want to, but I'm talking about how we would initially block it. Because what do they have? They have 7. We have 6. Not great to run against, but it's bear front. If you're a tight end guy, cool. Bring the tight end on the line. Now we can start working some 21 personnel. But that's not for this video. This is more 20 personnel video. Just when you have your 7th defender, make sure you RPO them because this is a 6-for-6 type of a play. But yeah, that's it for me on duo against popular front. Oh, I didn't talk about stack. Let me talk about stack real quick before I get in trouble because a lot of guys talking about stack these days. All right, so 3-3 stack, and this is a look we've been getting. We got this year too high. If you want to be like, hey, I'd roll a guy down. Again, congratulations. But this is what we've been seeing, and we would straight up just double team on the inside. You have your backside gap, working to the wheel. All right. And then working this ace. If I get my computer to work. All right. To the mic. And then we're going to do the same thing we did against odd front when they have the backside reduce. Okay. We're going to have our H in a wing or stacked. Okay. He's going to work C gap. Okay. To there. Okay. This is more of a double team. He goes B. Great. He'll go C. He goes C. He'll go B, and then the tackle will take him. H will kick out. Okay, and then the same thing. And this is all based off of what you feel like you want to do. You can read the mic, or you can read the play side linebacker. However you want to decide that. That's all game planning. Which one is more of a trigger guy? Which one is more of a better tackler? You figure that out game planning wise. I'm just going to teach you how to 6-for-6, who to block. And then you RPO other guys or try to get yourself and good situations based off of where guys line up. So again, guys, I'm gonna pop it out and pull it full screen. Again, I'm Coach Ian Tatum. I really appreciate everybody watching the video. Do over, just pop at the front. If you do anything differently, I would love to hear it. I would love to talk about it. But that was what we have done, and it's given us great success. Again, our running back had a really good year, and he could really read linebackers pretty well. And I had a really good offensive line. I mean, none of this was, hey, Tatum's just an awesome coach to teach duo. I mean, I can teach the guys what to do, but at the end of the day, they have to do it. They have to be able to double team. They have to be able to get their eyes on linebackers. They have to be able to get movement, trust their feet, and trust their hands, and put their bodies in position to be successful. So at the end of the day, it is Jimmy's and Joe's. But I'll show you little X's and O's. Try to be a little successful. So again, I'm Ian Tatum. Make sure that you subscribe, like the video, and make sure you share it out if you found some value in how to run duo against the popular fronts. Again, the third Tatum Offensive Line Clinic is now live. You guys can sign up for it. Make sure you DM me on Twitter or wherever you find this, and I will make sure you get you signed up. And it's going to be a really good one. Got a lot of guys showing interest. We're going to have some really good speakers this year. So without further ado, I'm Coach Tatum. See y'all next video.